Hello, Matt Davis here with Quiz Help for a question from section 5.2's quiz. So let's read through it, make some changes, give it a try. So a car dealership sold 425 new vehicles last quarter, and the following table shows a cross classification of the cost of each vehicle with the vehicle type. Suppose that a new vehicle is chosen at random from the above group. Determine the probability of V3 or C1 and approximate to 4 decimals. So the first thing we're going to do in the interest of giving help but not answers is change the question. So instead of those two, we're going to do the probability of. Let's go with V2 or C2. All right, so to do that, we want to take a Venn diagram approach. So for a Venn diagram, if you're doing the event A or B, and you have two events, A and B, then what you want to do is think about shading everything from the first one. So I'd shade everything from A, and then we want anything that's new from the second one. So when I do this second part, the second color, I'm not shading all of event B, but just the stuff that's new. So if I want to follow that pattern, then let's go with the same colors. I come over here and I look at the probability of V2, and I say I want all of that. So V2 would be these 4 squares right there. And then I go over to the C2 part, and I say for that, I only want the new things from C2. So I already have the 50 from C2, but I don't have this 25, and I don't yet have this 53. So I want everything from the first one and then the new stuff from the second one. So now what does that end up looking like when we do the probability? So probability of V2 or C2 is going to be out of the whole table. So denominator is going to be 425. And then we're going to count all the stuff from V2. So the stuff from V2, we could do the squares, 73 plus 50 plus 20 plus 48, but we have a total for that, so we can just use that. And then plus anything new from C2. So the stuff we're picking up from C2 is the 53 and the 25. So we'll add in 53 and we'll add in 25. And then that's it. So one of the things you want to be careful with is don't use both totals. So I'm not using this total right here of 128, because if I did that, I'd be counting all of this stuff, which means I'd be counting the 50 twice. So I do want to count the 50, but I counted it with the purple already. I don't need to count it also with the green. All right, so what does that give us? We just need to go to the calculator and find that out. So when we do this, I would make sure you put parentheses around the top. So 193 plus 53 plus 25, and those parentheses, that makes sure all the addition happens first, and then divide that by 425. So it looks like 0.6376. Look at that next digit. For rounding purposes, it's a 4, so we're going to stick with the 6 instead of rounding up to a 7. So 0.6376. So let's get back to our standard color. Give ourselves a little space. So this turned out to be approximately 0.6376. So that would be my answer. And again, in terms of mistakes, sometimes people mix the or and the and up together and they just count the overlap. Sometimes people think they shouldn't count the overlap at all, or if people use both totals, then they often double count the overlap. So I think the best strategy is everything from the first event plus just the new stuff from the second event. So when I use that strategy, everything from the first event gave me these 4 numbers, and I used the total to count those. And then the new stuff from event C that I didn't have shaded yet ended up being that number and that number. All right, I hope that helps out wherever you were having trouble with this, and good luck as you return to the quiz.